Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be building a Tempest Force list in Tabletop Admiral for Star Wars Legion, and I'm going to try to do a triple ATST list, running 3 walkers, which is one of the hallmarks of the Tempest Force. I'm going to be using Tabletop Admiral. I'll put a link to the list in the video description below. I also love to have you guys stick around. And if you like Star Wars Legion, you want to see more content, maybe I'll use this in an upcoming battle report. You guys can check all of that good stuff out. So what we want to do is we want to go down here to the bottom right and choose battle forces, and we're going to have all these different battle force options, and I am going to select Tempest Force. They do have some reminder text here too. This is going to give your vehicles Scout 2, and is also going to allow you to kind of drop somebody off and do like a rapid reinforcement with one of your troops. Also, it's going to give troops that aren't close to a commander and aren't and that don't have a comms the ability to not remove, well, not really ability, but the penalty that they can't remove a suppression during the end phase. So you might have units panicking a little more so than normal, and but at the same time, if we put our forces towards the ATST, we won't have that problem as much. Now, 2 interesting things about Tempest Force. It does allow Major Marquand in the triple ATST idea, which is very cool, but also it allows up to 6 special forces, so we could run 6 scout troopers. Now, you can only take very, very few Imperials in this list. You can take the Imperial officer, you can take stormtroopers. You only need 1 core. You have to have at least 2 scout troopers. You can take supports, and you can take up to 3 ATSTs. So you have a very little that you can really do with this list. And there's different command cards available. There are some very specific Tempest Force command cards, as well as Major Marquand, who is also restricted to only Tempest Force command cards. So, and those command cards primarily focus on vehicles. So I think if you're running Tempest Force, the idea is to run ATSTs and to not really focus on the special forces as much. I think that's kind of what you want to do. Now, you can use Field Commander in this list, so we're not going to run an Imperial Officer. I'm going to run Major Marquand. He can take no upgrades at all. He has all 3 weapons. He has Surge to hit, so he's sort of like, to build him as an ATST, you would have to give them Imperial Hammers Pilot, which would increase the cost to 10. You'd also have to give him everything except for the mortar launcher. So you'd give him the DW3 concussion grenade launcher, and you'd give him the 88 twin light blaster cannon. And that's sort of what you would do. Now, he does have everything they have there, with the one exception that, of course, he also has Field Commander and has the direct vehicle. So he gets to issue an order to a vehicle. Now, to build that ATST, that's 183 points. Major Marquand is 190 points, so you're already more expensive there. And what we're going to do here is, since we have the ability to direct vehicles, I'm going to put linked targeting array on this thing. It's going to give it an extra 5 points. That still makes it cheaper than Major Marquand. However, if I did give it everything like the mortar launcher, that would make it more expensive, but then we'd have a capability that Marquand doesn't have. And I don't think we really necessarily need the mortar launcher in this list. I think the fact that vehicles gaining Scout 2 is a pretty big deal. We're going to be getting pretty far forward pretty quickly, and these things are already speed 2. And there are command cards that give free movement. There are command cards that give Major Marquand the ability to get an aim after he moves. So you want these guys to be mobile. You kind of don't want them just sitting in the back launching mortars. That's my thoughts on this. Now, one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to lighten up the points a little bit, and I'm going to drop the Twin Light Blaster Cannon. Major Marquand has the Twin Light Blaster Cannon already, and I feel like I've got enough impact in the list. I got a lot of impact in this list. And my thought process here is I want the 2 ATSTs up front, and I want Major Marquand kind of behind them. Not exactly fully behind them, because again, these are vehicles now and they will block line of sight, right? Vehicles can be blocking terrain now. So I'm going to drop the Twin Light Blaster Cannon, and we'll just run the core gun on the ATST, and we'll run the concussion grenade launcher, which is a nice weapon. It definitely is. what I like about the concussion grenade launcher is that it's got this blast ability that's just really, really good. And it makes it feel like it's 4 dice as opposed to the 3 for the other one. So if you're firing at infantry, they don't get the benefits of cover. So it's, that's 2 hits canceled. So that's basically 2 dice that are automatically going to be hits that you wouldn't have had with the other gun. So I kind of like that better. Definitely the superior option when going for infantry, and that'll give us a pretty good infantry attack. So that's a fun thing. Now I'm going to run 2 of these. I'm going to make these exactly the same. And so they're at 178 points. They are cheaper than Major Marquand. You do have the option of just running 3 ATSTs. Like, you don't have to run Major Marquand. You can just run 3 normal ATSTs and run an Imperial officer that way. But I don't want to have the officer in this build, although I think you'll get more activations if you are putting officers in and having cheaper activations plus a commander that can stop nearby people from getting penalized by that suppression rule. Also, having a spotter, is a very good thing, frankly. So, but yeah, so that's definitely an option. But I'm going with Major Marquand as the field commander. I'm kind of going all in for the ATSTs at this point. So we have a couple of options at this point. Not many. We have to have at least 1 corps. We have to have at least 2 special forces. So we start there with 1 stormtrooper and 2 scout troopers. That gives us 668 points. We could do some things. We could put speeder bikes in there. We can't put a speeder bike and an Imperial officer. So there's limits. So what I want to do is, I think a lot of folks would probably go with the sniper, but I feel like I don't need a sniper. I feel like I want some sonic charge saboteurs. One of the reasons for this is I don't ever get to use them. And the sonic charge saboteurs are a lot more fun to use. I definitely had a lot of fun playtesting these, and when they first came out and they were the only special forces, I had a lot of fun using these guys. I've always enjoyed the saboteurs and running lots of them and having bombs all over the place. It's fun. I also feel like, since this list's weakness would be objectives, the sonic charge saboteur can help make up for my lack of infantry to grab objectives by maybe protecting my objectives. So the sonic charge saboteur can kind of do that. They can just start dropping sonic charges all over the place. And if I run 2 of these, so I'll put the little plus infinity. So I have 2 scout troopers with sonic charge saboteur. A lot of times it's not a bad idea to consider duck and cover on these guys, but considering this list and the penalties they'll have with suppression, I'm not going to put duck and cover. I'm actually going to leave them just as they are. Ideally, they shouldn't be doing too much shooting. They should be focusing more on the sonic charges, and I can't run them as a strike team because that's just not allowed for this battle force. So that gives me at least two sonic chargers, and I can kind of protect my flanks a little bit that way. For our stormtrooper, we got a lot of options here. We can add 2 stormtroopers. We could add another scout trooper. I only have 2 scout troopers, so I'm gonna stop there. And I don't feel like buying another scout trooper unit for this one. But the stormtroopers can do something really helpful with the ATSTs, and we can put an R4 astromech droid in here. And that's going to allow the stormtroopers to repair the ATSTs, and that's certainly a good thing. And we have just enough points to double up on them. So 2 stormtroopers, each with an astromech, 2 scout troopers, each with a sonic charge, 2 ATSTs, each with Imperial hammers, DW3 concussion grenade launchers, and the linked targeting array, which gives them an aim token when they are given an order. And then 1 Major Marquand. That's only 7 activations, but keep in mind we do have the ability to pass once per turn now, so that's not too bad. And it's not too great either. Definitely not too great, but it's going to be fun. Now, let's look at the command cards that we're going to add. We've got Major Marquand with Gunner Infantry. Not a very strong 1-pip. It gives him tactical 1 and gives him suppressive on his weapons, but reduces his speed by 1. Still, it's not bad. It lets him move into position to maybe get that range 2 grenade launcher. He's also going to have Scout 2, so he's going to be pretty far forward. And it gives, and it lets him go first, kind of. Suppressive is good. but not super great. It's just a medium power one. It's not one of the best ones. It may be one of the worst 1-pips, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, Squadron on me. Now, this one is at the start of his activation, each other friendly vehicle at range 1 of him may perform a free pivot, and then they may make a speed 1 move. What I like about this one is if you have other guys in front of him that might be blocking his shots or are blocking him from moving, it lets them move out of the way. Also, a free pivot can potentially let somebody turn around. So if people are getting behind you, it's going to give those guys a free pivot, and then they activate later. Then they can pivot again. They can basically a 180 out of it. So that's kind of cool. But they have to be at range 1 of him, so you have to have the ATSTs close together. And the trick there is finding a board that has enough empty open space to really make that easy. And it's not always going to be easy. This will probably work really well with speeder bikes, but I'm not using those right now. Then we've got this Armored Cavalry. Also deals with stuff that's range 1 of Major Marquand. When another friendly vehicle begins its activation at range 1 of Major Marquand, it can choose one of the following effects. If it's in the front arc, it gains a dodge. If it's in the side arc, it gains an aim token. If it's in the rear arc, it can perform a speed 1 move. What is interesting about this is the fact that it can only pick one of those three. So if you're double arced, which is very easy to do, being so close, you will not get more than one effect, so you have to choose one. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to use all three of those. They really cater to the strengths of the list, which is vehicles. And we have a lot of different 1-pips. I'm not going to do Covert Observation, although it's not a terrible card. I'm going to use Drive Them Out. This is a fantastic command card. This is Tempest Force exclusive. It gives those vehicles Demoralize 1, so they're putting out Suppression token when they activate, the range 1 to 2. And then when if you have got a face-up order token from this guy, you're going to displace, but also do damage to whoever you hit. So I really like that. And the thing is with this one, because it says only one vehicle, it says the first time a friendly vehicle with a face-up order token displaces an enemy unit. Now, the way this is worded, if you have two friendly vehicles with a face-up order token, which you certainly could, Major Marquand could direct somebody else, for example. Do they both get that the first time they displace one? I think that they do, but I could see it working either way. Because is it the first time that a friendly vehicle does it? But they have to have a face-up order token, or is it the first, basically the first displacement that happens? You know what I mean? Or is it basically for each friendly vehicle with a face-up order token? Is it the first time that they would? Because then that could apply to both. I don't know exactly how the wording on that would play out, and it's probably already answered in the rules FAQ, so I'll have to look that up after this video. But either way, even if it's only just the one, it's a really cool card. I like the Demoralize on there too. So, very cool. And the fact that it's one vehicle just works perfectly. So that's our 1-pip. For 2-pips, we need Reinforcements as the Tempest Force card. I'm not going to use that one in this case. Friendly units that have a face-up order token gain Disengage this round. This is for your troopers. They get tied up in melee. I'm not really expecting to have my troopers tied up in melee. I'm not expecting to have my troopers do anything except stay safe and try and take objectives. So I think we go with something else. We've got Aggression, which I'm not doing that, but Pinned Down is the perfect option. This is that neutral Imperial card. That 2-pips, 2 support or 2 heavy units, and after they perform an attack against a unit with a face-up order token, shuffle it back into its order pool. Really good option for this one, especially against fire support, which might happen against a vehicle list. So possibly, if there's enough impact or surge to crit and things like that. And then for our 3-pip, we are going to go with, we are looking for not coordinated fire, not assault, not discretion, but constantly alert. This is other Tempest Force specific card, 3 pips. When a unit is issued an order with this card, it gains an aim token for each enemy unit at range 1. If it did not gain any aim tokens, it gains a standby token. This is a really cool way to make sure all of your ATSTs stand by or at least have a bunch of aims, and they really can benefit from the aims. They roll a lot of dice, and there's usually always a lot of dice to be re-rolled. This is one of the best cards in the entire Battle Force. I love this card. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so for our battle plans, we want stuff that is going to favor having some dudes kind of just chill and stay in the back, or any unit leader, not necessarily trooper unit leaders. So so basically, let me see, payload. I don't know if let's see. At the end of each round, starting with the blue player, each player's bomb cart may pivot and more speed to move if there are more friendly unit leaders. All right, so payload could work. I don't like recover the supplies. I need to have a lot more troopers for that one. Sabotage the moisture evaporators I like because I can kind of place them hidden, and I can set up bombs around it in case my opponent tries to come in. So I like that one. Key positions, that one can work because that one deals with unit leaders, right? There's the most unit leaders in base contact with terrain and peace. Yeah, I don't have that many unit leaders though, but it definitely could work. So we'll put key positions in there. I don't see breakthrough working out too well. Hostage exchange, I'm not super crazy about that. It's kind of a maybe, but probably not. I'm not super crazy about that. Bombing run, I think, is probably possibly a better option here. I don't know. Hostage exchange or bombing run, I feel like I'd have enough firepower to really kill their unit. But the thing is, if they get behind terrain or I can't get them, then I'm going to be screwed. So I think I'll go with bombing run. And plus, I'll be really well prepared to counter enemy vehicles that are doing the bombing run stuff. And these guys, I mean, they are speed 2 and with a big base, so they're actually fairly fast. So I'm pretty sure they could get into your opponent's deployment zone if they needed to. Okay, so for our battle plans, I sort of like I sort of like hemmed in because if we get something like sabotage the moisture evaporators, we can have guys kind of camp out in the corner. One of the things that's nice about it is you have this open space over here, and you always have to have objectives at distance 1, outside of distance 1 of a range 1 of a deployment zone, so you can put stuff really in a safe area. So I'm going to go with that one. Rollout is pretty cool. Gives you a very far forward movement. I love rollout for this one. Definitely do. I feel like battle lines kind of works, especially if we get something like bombing run, because my ATSTs can move up and then turn and then still have lots of fire. So I kind of like battle lines. It allows me to kind of play to one side and move farther forward. And danger close is an option. Disarray is kind of an option. You could definitely, drop some scout troopers over there and bomb off an area. Definitely an option. Long march kind of works. Major offensive is safe enough because I could put the ATSTs over here, have them scout. They're pretty close to enemy territory. I kind of like that, especially because they can kind of scout and turn because they're going to gain scout too, so they can come out and then up, then out and up a little bit. So I can kind of cover this area of the board with that. So I think I'm going to go with major offensive for that one. And then as we come down to these, I've always liked supply drop. It kind of caters to the idea of kind of keeping your guys in the back. I can also pick up some arc welders and things like that from supply drop as well, which is going to help. So that one's pretty cool. I feel like War Weary is it might be the option here, since my guys are going to likely get kind of screwed over with suppression anyway. Might as well kind of also apply it to the enemy, right? Like I'm already going to have some guys potentially panic, so let's see if we can get your guys to do that too. Since my ATSTs are really the main movers and shooters, they're not going to care all that much. We could do rapid reinforcements that would also work with. So I'd have 3 of my starting units off the battlefield, which is really wild, and that could really hurt me too. But it's like that's kind of cool. I don't know. Hostile environment is actually a pretty good one for this one, since I don't really care about the suppression as much, since my guys can't remove it anyway. So that's definitely a clear winner. I feel like rapid reinforcements could be really fun, but it could also really hurt me because I give my opponent to do that, then they can come behind my ATSTs. So I don't want them to do that. And I don't want limited visibility. Minefield is only impact 1. It might not hurt me that much. It might hurt my opponent more than it hurts me. but I'm going to go with clear conditions because that's a safe one. So there we go. Those are our objectives. That is the list. Let me know, guys, what you think down in the video description below, and I will put a link to this list. And it's always fun talking about Star Wars Legion. Also, want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Be sure to check out luxuryplaystyle.com. Amazing full metal tokens, fully compatible with Star Wars Legion. They are out of this world, and you will love them. Don't forget to use code Crabbok Crabbok VIP during checkout. That'll save you 15% on your order, and orders of $35 or more get that free Crabbok lightsaber nunchuck token thrown in. So definitely use that code while you're there. You're going to love these tokens. They are exquisite, folks. And that is going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for mini extravaganza just around the corner. That is coming up very soon, next week, and we'll be having lots of new Legion updates, as well as Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol, and who knows what other updates we're going to get, but that is going to be very exciting. I want to thank my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you guys later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes, and have a great day.